So when I tested out the Cubot Rainbow 1, I found it to be a fantastic smartphone, especially for its cheap price. So when I was offered the opportunity to test out the Rainbow 2, I couldn't give up the opportunity. First things first, build quality. The phone is made out of a polycarbonate shell, which should help with cell reception, especially with the metal clad phones that we see nowadays. When trying to bend the phone, there is a tiny amount of squeaking, but I put this down to the removable back cover, which allows you access to the battery, which is sealed in, alongside the micro SD card and dual SIM slots. There is some discrepancies between the colour of the back and the size of the phone. The effect of this is limited if you are using the free case, which is included inside the box, but it is worth mentioning. But apart from picking up a lot of fingerprints, the overall build of the phone is pretty good. Inside the phone there's a quad-core MediaTek MT6580A processor. Because of the 4 cores, the phone is incredibly zippy when going around the operating system. But as can be seen in the clip, there is a fair bit of lag when pressing the screen and the action actually happening, and a fair amount of frames are dropped as a result, so something intensive like Asphalt 8 probably won't be the best, but something more lightweight will probably be absolutely fine. The Antutu score is 23,803, which is fairly low, but I guess this is the kind of performance that you're looking for a phone at this price. Geekbench results are 409 for single core and 1198 for the multi-core. These scores might look quite paltry in comparison to the flagships we're used to, but specs aren't everything at the end of the day, and the iPhone is proof to that. The camera setup on this phone is quite unique, as you've got a 5 megapixel front facing camera with its own LED flash, whilst the rear camera is 8 megapixels interpolated to 13, alongside a 0.3 megapixel camera, which is used to help with the blur effect within the camera application. The front facing flash alongside the dual camera setup on the back is probably a first for such affordable smartphones like this. Now you'll be able to see photos from both the rear facing camera and the front facing camera, and I'll let you decide whether you like the pictures or not. Unlike the original Cubot Rainbow, the battery isn't removable, which is a bit of a shame. In order to test the battery, I had a YouTube video playing non-stop, and overall the result I received was 3 hours, 36 minutes and 40 seconds, which is quite good for continuous use. With more normal use, I was able to see a screen on time of about 5.5 hours, and that was with Wi-Fi and the screen brightness on full. The Antutu battery benchmark showed that the phone performed better than the infamous Nexus 5. The standby time for the Rainbow 2 was pretty good, although it's not as good as the Rainbow 1, which lasted days on end without losing much charge at all. The 5-inch display is only 720p in resolution and has a screen protector pre-applied from the factory. This does mean there is some sort of a weird grainy pattern on the display. I would probably recommend replacing it with a third-party one that doesn't have this weird grain effect. The display is incredibly colour accurate alongside having good viewing angles. Using the phone outside may be a bit difficult because the phone's display isn't the brightest, but this issue is seen in phones costing 10 times the price. You can see individual pixels when you look close enough, but from normal viewing distances this won't be an issue. Speakers are where some of these budget phones lack incredibly, and the Cubot Rainbow 2 is no exception. The speakers are quite tinny on full volume, and I would probably recommend keeping them about 80% to get rid of that distortion. Volume isn't an issue out of the downwards facing mono speaker with an average of 95 decibels coming out of it. So, verdict time. Do I think this is a worthy successor to the Rainbow one? Definitely. The overall footprint of the phone is identical if not slightly smaller than the original Rainbow. The specs are powerful enough unless you're doing a lot of heavy gaming every single day. The battery will last a whole day easily with mixed usage. The screen is pretty comparable to the one on the iPhone. The main rear facing camera is good for its price, whilst the secondary camera is more of a gimmick. The front facing camera on the other hand has a weird sort of tinge to it, so hopefully that can be fixed with a software update. Network connectivity was good on Wi-Fi and cellular. So in conclusion, this phone is fantastic value for the under £100 category and is a worthy successor to the Cubot Rainbow. So as always, you can find the site over at www.mobiletechtalk.co.uk. There is a written counterpart to this video review and that will be linked in the video description box below. If you do have any questions about this phone, do drop us a comment and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching.